Hi everyone, my name is Joada. Since this is the first time recording a presentation showing my face on the video, I feel a little awkward, and this course is not like any other course I am taking. It is really challenging for sure, but thank God I'm still here presenting to you. Well, anyway, you can give me honest feedbacks to make me become a better presenter next time. And hopefully this will help you better understand the research I chose. Okay, let's begin. The title of the study is Using Method of Instruction to Predict the Skills Supporting Initial Reading Development, Insight from a Synthetic Phonics Approach. That means to make a young learner to become a confident reader, it really depends on what kind of methods of instruction you utilize as a teacher or as a parent. There is no question that a teaching time saves 9, so supporting children's initial reading is extremely important. I will begin by briefly explaining what synthetic phonics approach is. So, what does synthetic mean? Well, pushing sounds together is called synthesizing or blending sounds into a word. It is the synthesis of those sounds. For example, if you know the sound k, t, then you can read the word k at cat. You can also move these graphemes around to read the word t, a, k, tack, and the word a, k, t, act. So just by knowing those 3 letter shapes and the sound they make, you can start reading words and learn the language. So it's clear that systematic synthetic phonics leads to better reading and spelling attainment among children. English is a difficult language to learn to read and spell, and that's because it has adopted many words from other languages such as Greek, Latin, French, German, and even Japan, and a lot more. So synthetic phonics could be regarded as an effective method of reading instruction for children who have reading difficulties and for those who have weak vocabulary skills. So let's talk about it's not coming. No. Yes. The study examines the skills predicting early reading development when children were taught by a synthetic phonics approach. In this study, 85 new school entrants took part, and the school was in an area of deprivation. Their life standards were a lot lower than the national average. They were taught to read on a whole class basis with systematic synthetic phonics reading program called Fast Phonics First. I googled this program, and this is the images of Fast Phonics First. It is a balanced approach to teach reading using synthetic phonics. Each day, the children received 40 minutes of phoneme awareness training. Also, the children were taught letter sounds in a short period of time, right from the beginning of the instruction, and they were first assessed during their second week of the reception year and were tested 6 months later and finally tested again 1 year later. Oh, okay. All children were non-readers prior to instruction, which means they couldn't read at all before the synthetic phonics instruction. Both time 1 and time 2, children's vocabulary knowledge and word reading were below averages, but at time 3, their word reading skills had reached age-appropriate levels. Children could read books using the sounding and blending strategy that they had been taught to understand unfamiliar words. Their letter sound knowledge and phoneme synthesis scores also greatly increased. The researchers found that the children's letter sound knowledge significantly varied at time 2, but their rhyme awareness did not. The study says awareness of phoneme is considered more crucial than rhymes. Letter sound knowledge and short-term memory span were the strongest correlations and most consistent predictors on early word reading. Once again, letter sound knowledge and phoneme awareness were the strongest predictor of word reading than rhyme awareness. So, I would like to go for more details about phoneme awareness. Phoneme awareness is the ability to segment words into phonemes like these 3 words. It has 2 sub-processes, segmenting and blending. Segmenting is the ability to hear a word and identify the individual sounds that make up the word. In other words, you break a word bad down as b, a, d. Blending is taking the separate letter sounds and combining them together to make a word. S, p, u, n, and you blend those letter sounds into make a word like this, spoon. Once children understand that words can be broken into individual sounds, they will have no difficulty learning how to read and spell words. The researchers argue that when children start to learn to read, teachers and parents should always remember these 2 things. The first thing is knowing the letter sounds, and the second one is phonological awareness. Phoneme is another word for sound, so phonemic awareness is sound awareness. It's the ability to notice, to think about, and work with individual sounds in spoken words. Before children learn to reprint, which means to copy, they must understand that spoken words are made up of separate speech sounds or phoneme. Also, the study said that vocabulary knowledge plays a minor role for early word reading, but it could be important when the children come to learn irregular word reading, And during the study, while learning irregular vocabularies, the teachers taught only the regular parts of irregular words that follow consistent letter sound rules, so the children could learn all words with blending of grapheme-phoneme correspondences. So irregular words were taught separately, and the children's attention was on the regular parts of irregular words. So letter sound knowledge and phoneme awareness, as well as short-term memory span, were the strongest correlations and most consistent predictors of early word reading. And what we're seeing is method of instruction strongly shape the skills children use when they learn to read. Even the skills supporting early reading development is so important. The researchers said that not many studies have mentioned about this. The present study argues that more extended and longitudinal studies are necessary to examine the longer impact of synthetic phonics teaching. Synthetic phonics approach with letter sound knowledge and short-term memory are recruited to help children sound and blend sequences of letter sounds to read unfamiliar words. The results of this study suggest that researchers should consider this method of reading instructions to help sense of variation with predicting children's initial reading acquisition and development. Children who participated in this study could use the sounding and blending strategies. They had been taught to read unfamiliar words. The teachers didn't promote any other strategies for reading, such as whole word teaching, guessing from pictures, or initial letter cues to predict the word. The children eventually learned all simple grapheme phoneme correspondences and several consonant and vowel diagrams to read unfamiliar words. No. Okay. I struggled to teach young children how to read, and I know many other parents who do not want to read books, English storybooks, to their own children, and that is because of their poor accent. I truly think that Korean EFL young learners as well as adults should begin to learn from phonics, and balanced synthetic phonics will be the ideal solution. And I also thought of doing a research related to, while I was doing the research of related to this study, I was wondering what would be the result of teaching young Korean English learners by using systematic synthetic phonics as well as involving parents. To my surprise, visual discrimination skills have been found to play only a modest role in children's reading ability in comparison to phonological awareness. I kind of forced my children to visually discriminate the letters and vocabularies by their shapes. So, thanks to this article, now I decided not to do that anymore. So I'm going to wrap up now, since I have little knowledge of synthetic phonics, and it's hard for me to critique this research article. I would say I rather learned a lot from this, and what I learned is that encouraging young EFL children to read English by using synthetic phonics would be very useful. The power of synthetic phonics teaching is so amazing, and I taught my own kids using letter sounds, segmenting and blending some words after reading this article. And guess what? They loved it. Synthetic phonics teaching was very effective to teach children to read and understand English. If kids are given books with words they can't read, they will guess, and guessing is not reading. That's why so many middle school students are struggling to read vocabularies. They have to prepare all the school tests and they don't even know how to read. But the school teachers don't seem to care that much. And I found that these people really need to learn by synthetic phonics. Anyway, as the researchers of this study propose that method of instruction may shape the skills children draw upon when learning to read. With synthetic phonics, a child can learn how to work out any new word they encounter, and it is essential for beginning reader. Thank you.